Alright, today we are going to look at exploring the circulatory system. Circulatory system is your heart and blood vessel. By definition, the circulatory system is a group of organs and tissues that act as transfer stations carrying needed materials to the cells and removing their waste. Basically, this is talking about how your blood transfers in throughout your body, takes the good stuff, energy, nutrients it needs to the organs and tissues, and then back with the waste of things that you have to get rid of, alright? It's going to consist of three main things. It's going to be your arteries, veins, and capillaries. Your arteries are the, so we say the highways that carry blood away from your heart. They carry it to, like we said, the organs, tissues, you know, like from your heart all the way to your feet, get oxygen down to those muscles so they can move and relax. Then they go all the way down to what they call the capillaries. They're like the connecting piece between the arteries and the veins. It's at this point that it transfers, gives off all the good stuff, takes up all the bad stuff, and heads back to the heart up through the veins. That's the superhighway for that to go back to the heart. Okay? The diagram here kind of gives you some indications of what it looks like. Alright? You have your artery where the blood's going to go in, go down, go through. Then once it gets to a certain spot, it veers off, comes to what we call the capillary network. Once it's through here, it's delivering the oxygen and goods, and like I said, minerals and things your body needs. And as it gets to the blue side, it's picking up the CO2, other ways, and it's getting back onto the superhighway, coming back through the heart, through the veins. Even if you look a little closer over here, you can see arteries are a lot thicker. They're meant to kind of keep things in, hold things in a straight line. Veins are actually a lot bigger because, like you said, it's going to fill up with all these waste things. Typically, the blood ends up being a little larger, a little bit more, probably say, unstable. So it's going to carry a lot more on the way back. All right, the capillaries, if you look at the size of it, is very small compared to the arteries and the veins. From there, we're going to talk about the process of circulation. You have two types of circulation in your body. You have pulmonary circulation. Pulmonary circulation is where it circulates the blood from the heart to the lungs and back, okay? This is where, when it's in the heart, it's going to go to the lungs. On the way, while it's going to the lungs, it's carrying a lot of CO2, or carbon dioxide. That's what our body gives off as a byproduct of the oxygen it burns. It's going to go to the lungs, get there, drop off the CO2, pick up the O2, and come back, alright? Next thing you're going to have is systemic circulation. This is going to be the circulation that circulates the blood to the tissues and back. Typically, I mean, like the last we talked about before, where the different arteries, veins, and capillaries, this is what we're kind of really looking at when I was talking about delivers to your feet. Okay, that'd be your systemic circulation. Just so you know, the reason some of your veins are red or appear to be blue in your arms when you're like looking at them is because that's actually a vein you're looking at. Blood that does not have oxygen present in it will look blue, alright? Versus your oxygen that's red, and you're like, well, why is it if I get a cut then that blue all of a sudden looks red? Well, that's because it's being exposed to air, and then hence it looks red because of that instant oxygenization. Within the circulation, we're going to have to talk about blood pressure. Blood pressure is something you probably get taken every time you go to the doctor's office. It's pretty standard procedure as far as they want to know what your heart's doing and if it's working overly hard or not. It consists of two main numbers. Alright? Those two numbers are the top number, which is, it gives us the pressure exerted against the artery walls when the heart beats. And that is simply referred to as the systolic number, okay? In this case, if we're looking at this number up here, you have 110/73. 110 is the systolic number. It's telling us from 110 pounds of pressure approximately against your heart wall, or your pulmonary wall, excuse me. The bottom number is referred to as the diastolic number. Okay, that gives us the pressure of the heart when it relaxes and the blood naturally fills back into it. Okay, so that's why your systolic number is always higher than your diastolic number. So your systolic is obviously, like you said, the pressure of the heart beating. It's going to force a lot of blood through, so it's going to create a lot more pressure. Diastolic number is how much pressure is coming back into the heart, alright? So when that heart relaxes for that half a second or whatever, that what's the pressure of the blood going back in, okay? You don't want that number too low because otherwise it means you're probably not having proper circulation. What makes up your blood? You have 4 parts to your blood. They are going to be your red blood cells, your white blood cells, your platelets, and your plasma. Okay? If you want to break this down into percentages, plasma makes up approximately 70% of your blood. Red blood cells are going to make up probably the next 20%. White blood cells make up about 7% to 8%, and your platelets make up a whole about 2% of your blood. Okay? You're going to, most of you have ever seen on a microscope a red blood cell. It's pretty usually flat, and they're pretty round, and they come around. They're actually very symmetry in shape and size, right? And you have certain blood cell degrees like sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell, actually, the blood actually is kind of disformed. It's kind of abnormally shaped and causes like catch on stuff. That's why people that have sickle cell anemia typically suffer with a lot of pain, alright, because of the circulation has trouble moving around in their body. Plasma. So you know, my one little story about plasma is when I was going to college, I could donate plasma twice a week and make $50. Well, $50 times 4 times a week is $200 a month. That was my money to make rent. If you ask me, I might show you. I have a nice little scar on my arm from all the times that I gave plasma. No, it's not from drug use. It is actually from plasma donation. But for college students, it is a way for them to make money while they're in college. All right, there's 4 types of blood. They are A, B, AB, and O. Also consist of the different factors, of positive and negative factors, okay? And I'm going to go through all this and kind of break it back together, okay? And that's what we're going to refer to as an RH factor. If you're RH positive, means that if, like, say you're AB positive, okay, you'd be a universal receiver, except anyone you got blood from, if you got an A, B, or O type blood, you would have to have an O positive. Alright? Or yeah, you'd be a universal receiver because you get the negative as well, excuse me. So just so we understand this, O negative would be the universal donor. That means anyone could take that blood. The negative, the O positive would be the universal donor. The AB negative could take any type of blood because the RH factor is missing. I might have said that wrong, don't quote me on that. So that's my fault for not being up to date on my information. Okay, you got examples like we said of an RH factor. You have A positive, B negative. I believe I am A positive blood type, which means that I can take O negative, O positive, and A positive, only blood types I can receive if I would ever need a blood transfusion. People with RH factor positive can only receive blood from another positive person. That's why I said the O positive is the universal donor. AB negative would be the universal receiver. Alright? Or AB positive receiver. Last thing we're going to talk about real quickly is that the caring for the circulatory system. And this is pretty universal, pretty standard. Kind of goes back to the bones and muscles that we talked about in the last chapter. You stay in shape, exercise regularly, and eat healthy. Those are the big things you need to do. Alright, that is section 3 in a nutshell. Make sure you take some time to read through it again. There's some great information in there, great diagrams. Look it over, understand it, be ready for it, alright? Have a good day.